Welcome to the channel. We're your hosts. My name is Quentin Horton,
And I'm Aaron Curry.
and this is
It's Secrets to Sexy. All right, guys, welcome back to Secrets to Sexy. Today we're going to talk about unresolved trauma and normalized dysfunction and how those things can cause you to reject grounded partners, people that are emotionally available to you, and why peace feels weird, but also how boring can be healthy. And why are we, because it's not just you guys, why are we self-sabotaging love? So I'm going to paint a picture for them, Q.
Okay.
So let's say he's calling you consistently, he's texting you, he's planning ahead on the dates. I know women like the dates to be planned out, so it's not like, hey, let's just meet up. He's doing everything, right? He's consistent. So what happens, Q? She gets the what?
She gets the ick.
Like, she gets the ick. Men get it too. Like, that's what the kids are calling these days. I got the ick because he's like, it's like, that's crazy to me. It's like
Right.
consistency is causing people to think that there's something wrong with that person.
Right.
And so when someone does something that's consistent or is exhibiting healthy behavior, and you think that someone texting you back in 3 minutes is a red flag or the ick, it's actually not. There's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with your nervous system. Right. So I want to talk about today, what healthy really looks like, what green flags are versus red flags, and how you can identify them appropriately. So let's talk about it, Q.
I feel like everybody wants to find real love. They're always saying, I'm looking for something real, right?
Yeah, of course.
But then what I've noticed is when they finally get it, then all of a sudden it's a red flag. It's almost like a lot of people have gotten conditioned to mistaking chaos for chemistry. So they think, okay, if things are, rocky and we're having this push and pull and there's no synergy in there, I'm so used to chaos that I think that this is a green flag because it's just a normal part of relationships.
Right.
And then when they finally experience somebody that's actually corresponding with them correctly or treating them nicely, opening their doors, or vice versa with a woman that's actually, being respectful and being submissive, all of a sudden they mistake that as a red flag.
Right.
And it's really like, no, this is what you've been asking for.
Right.
And you finally get it and you think there's a catch or something. So I feel like, I don't know what that is, but it happens a lot with a lot of my friends.
It's like a flare-up. It's like an emotional flare-up. So they think, okay, well, they're texting me back, they're doing all the right things, something must be wrong with them. And it's like, no, you ask for it. You ask and you shall receive. So it's like you got what you wanted, but now you're looking for an issue. I think that's part of the problem is when you get what you want, you're like, okay, I got it. Why did I get this? It's like, well, you manifested it.
Right.
We're always talking about manifesting a job or money or whatever. It's like you manifested these good things. They come to you and then you get them and you think you're not worthy of them. And I think that's part of the problem. It's like he's calling you back. He's doing all these right things and you think that there's something wrong with him. So the green flags, you're turning green flags into red flags.
Red flags.
That's the problem.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think people do that?
I think that men and women don't think they're worthy sometimes of the goodness that comes to them. And I've even heard people say it, they're like, I don't deserve this. It's like, well, if you don't think you deserve it, then you're not gonna be able to identify when it's good. Like you're gonna turn something that's good into something that's bad because you're like, it can't be real.
Right.
They can't be real. You think something's wrong with the person because you're like, oh, yeah, I'm not in a place where I'm healthy and truly happy with myself. So the person that's showing up for me, they must be gaslighting me or they must be doing this for the wrong reasons or doing it just to get in my pants or whatever it might be. But it's like, no, sometimes you come across a good person, a good man or a good woman. And it's a shame when you can't identify that. So that's why, like we talk about on every show, that inner work, that self-work, so that you're deserving of what's come to you is paramount.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I think what I've seen is whatever you believe about yourself is what you expect in a relationship, right? So if you have low self-esteem, you expect someone to treat you with a low level of respect.
For sure.
And if they're not doing that, if they're treating you with a higher level of respect, you're going to find a way to bring it down to what you think you deserve. And you're not doing that consciously. You're doing it subconsciously. You're like, no, like this is making me uncomfortable. Let's lower the level of respect, whether that's through creating arguments or drama, or just not reciprocating the energy they're giving back because you're trying to get them to reduce what they have for you. And I think also the other way around too, where if you have a high level of esteem, and somebody comes in and it truly is a red flag, you could easily detect that. And you're either going to try to pull them up to your vibration or you're going to let them go. But I think what we're talking about is the first part, which is you not really being used to someone treating you better than what you feel about yourself. And you're accidentally self-sabotaging because you need a little chaos because you believe that's what you deserve.
And let's be real, a lot of it comes from what you see on social media. Like you see the Cardi B and the Offset, and they're so open with their relationships, you're gauging that as healthy when it's really not. It's just you have access to see the dysfunction. So you think because it's being highlighted on blogs and on the Shade Room and on Hollywood Unlocked, and you're like, oh, that's what I should want. That's what I need to get. And it's like, no, just because it's being highlighted doesn't mean it's healthy. It doesn't mean that that's what you should aspire to get from a partner, from a relationship. And I think that plays a big piece into it because we live in a time where we have access to everything. We see things and we compare our lives, ourselves, our energy, our feelings to what we see on display. Just because it's on display doesn't mean it's good.
Right. Right. Also, what I'll say is, because one of my best friends, she basically make these statements like, brothers ain't shit.
Of course.
The other word. And
some of them aren't. Hey.
It comes from a place of experience, so I'm not going to discard, her perception. But what I will say is that when you've had a few bad experiences and then you watch on social media all of the relationship drama, happen, and you're looking at it from a frame of a woman or a man always paying attention to someone who's betrayed someone, lied to someone, drama and all the stuff we see on Instagram that's good for clickbait, but it also shapes what you believe about the world.
Absolutely.
What starts to happen is that you come into a relationship already at opposition. You're already like, I know I can't trust you because I see a lot of stuff. So you accidentally start doing things that may be a little disrespectful because you have your guard up. And then you don't realize you're actually provoking that person to do the very same thing that you don't want them to do.
Absolutely.
And stuff. So I think a lot of people come into it already expecting a negative experience instead of showing up as their higher self and just letting it play out. My thing is, like, I always want to step into a situation, whether that's with a client, at a job or in a relationship, as the best self that I can be in that moment. We all know sometimes we have personal stuff and we're trying to be the best that we can be in that time. But I always want to show up as my best version of myself, and then I let them play their hand.
Absolutely.
It's not going to change how I'm going to show up. I'm going to stay in character, and if you show me a reason why I should step back, I'm going to step back. But I'm not going to assume that you just are going to be a person I can't trust or anything like that.
Agree.
You know how people say you have to earn your trust?
Bro, get out of my head, bro.
Right?
I was just about to say that because I was thinking along the lines where they say like innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
That's how it really should be in relationships. It's like you're looking for the problem before it exists. It's like trust someone until they give you a reason not to trust them. And I'm not saying trust them indefinitely. If they make a huge mistake up front, then cool. Trust that as well. If they're a cheater or they're, disrespectful, or they're calling you out of your name, or they're, not honoring your friendships, or whatever the case is, like, trust those things. But if they're buying you roses and taking you out on nice dates and taking you on trips, believe it until you have a reason to believe that they're doing it for either an ulterior motive or inauthentic reasons, or they slip up and show the real them. But believe that the real them is the real them until you know it's not the real them.
That's real.
Rhyme, But for real, you know what I mean? Like, stop looking for the negativity, because when you look for it, you will find it.
Right.
When you look for a problem, it's like when you go out into the club. If you're looking to fight someone, or you're looking to you're gonna find whatever it is you're looking for. If that's the energy you have, that's what you're going to attract. And I think people forget that.
Right.
You're literally, your mind is powerful enough to attract what you think you deserve or what you think you want.
Right. And I'll also say that, there are gray area situations. Like, most human beings are not living in absolutes. And what I mean by that is, I'll have conversation with some of my female clients. Let's say they meet a guy, he treats her very well, he gets her the flowers, he takes her out, he respects her. But then she finds out in the beginning that he's talking to someone else. And maybe he didn't want to present that yet because he's not quite sure what he wants to do, right?
Yeah.
Happens all the time, and it's a very normal situation.
Take a sip on that
right,
one.
there you go.
Because I've been there. I've been there. Hey, cheers.
Right.
Because sometimes, let me sip.
Sip it out.
Sometimes I think women and men can dismiss authenticity as being a bad person. It's like, no, I'm just being honest with you.
Right.
Or they mistake us not saying something as dishonesty, and it's like, well, did you ask me to qualify and question it?
Right.
Because you know me, I'm as honest as it gets when it comes to stuff like that. It's like, are you dating someone? Yeah, I am.
Right.
But like, why would I wanna create narratives and create problems before I even know if this is something I want? It's like, I think people confuse dating and the stages and talking and all these different stages as just one thing. It's like, just because we're texting at night and we've gone out on a couple dates, that's all it was. It was just a couple dates.
Right.
So like, we're still getting to know each other, and then you'll find out that a man or a woman is talking to someone else and you're like, oh, they're a horrible person. It's like, no, they're not. They're entitled. We're not married. Even the girl you like, Sarah, she said, when I go online and it says, are you single, married, whatever, she says, I'm checking single.
Yeah.
I'm not married yet. So she was like, I'm single.
Right.
Like, by definition, she's technically still single. So it's like, if you're not married, you're not engaged, you're dating someone to get to know them, to see if you like the chemistry and you want to take the next steps with them, you can't quantify someone as a bad person if they're exploring their options still.
Right.
If they're exploring their options, then you probably haven't done enough to warrant them saying, okay, I want to cut all this off. So think about that too. Like, men and women, we want so much from the opposite sex or our partner or our potential partner. It's like, what have you done to deserve that?
Right. Right.
Like, if we're talking for like a woman, it's like, I take you out on a date or two, and then I'm supposed to cut off every chick I know because we've gone on 2 dates?
Yeah.
That's not the way the real world works. Now, there are guys out there that will tell you they've done that and they didn't actually do it. I'm just honest enough to say, yeah, no, I'm dating. Right. Yeah, are you cool with that or not? Or, hey, I'm in a space where I'm not, like, right now, I don't want to date anyone.
Right.
So it's like, but I'm going to tell you that, but we as human nature, you want what you want, so you will create a narrative or create something in your mind to align with what you want in your reality, and your reality is yours.
Right.
And mine is mine.
That's real.
And I told you what it is, and if you want to go against what my reality is, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's part of where this whole gray area is at with relationships. And I think sometimes people have a couple of bad experiences, which a lot of times could even amount to just miscommunications.
Absolutely.
Or being on a different page. And then they chalk it up, they use victimhood. Like, oh, he didn't say X, Y, and Z. And there's a gray area where it's like, if I'm too transparent, you're going to think I'm not interested in you.
Correct.
So I'm going to tell you this because I don't know you well enough to share everything about who I am. You know, when you think about relationships, as you build more rapport, you become more and more transparent. But I think sometimes people want 100% transparency with 10% rapport.
Exactly.
And it's like adults learn, like, I'm going to withhold certain information until I get to know a little bit about who you are.
Also kind of a red flag when someone's just throwing up everything on you. It's
about
like,
their life.
I don't even know you. I don't know your middle name. I don't know your favorite flower. I don't know what you like to eat. I don't know your likes, your dislikes. And you want to tell me all of this history and everything going. That's kind of weird to me. It's like, that's why it's called dating. Like, it takes time to get to know that person, and then you want all of this rapport up front immediately. I'm supposed to cut everybody off and tell you everything about myself.
The moment you like me.
The moment you like me.
It's time to cut everybody off.
It's not a red flag to be reserved. It's more of a red flag when someone's just throwing everything at you. It's like, why do you feel so comfortable telling me all this negative stuff?
Right.
Why do you feel so comfortable? It's like sometimes it's almost like how Eminem did in 8 Mile when he was on stage and he said everything up front about himself that was negative to get it out the way. And the battle rapper had nothing he could say back to him.
Right.
So women and men, think about that too. If someone's telling you all these negative things, they're telling you who they are.
Right.
Right? And then they've said it. So now when you get upset with something, you can't really be upset because they told you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, it's a gift and a curse sometimes when someone is so open book. I don't want my girl to be loosey-goosey. I kind of want there to be some mystique. And I think that's part of the problem too, is we've lost the mystique because of social media. Everyone has open access, like open AI and open everything, open legs.
You got me.
Open
Right.
arms, open, and it's
Everything's
like
open.
I don't want everything open.
Right, that's real.
Like I don't want to see your ass out at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like nothing's left for the man to desire or dream about or fantasize about. It's just all right there.
Yeah.
And so women, same thing. Like, yeah, while most men aren't there, you know, we're not showing our ass and stuff online, but like if I'm just oversharing everything online, you would look like, well, what is there for me to learn about you? It's all out there for strangers to know.
Right. Or just someone that seeks a lot of attention from the audience too much, and it's not connected to a business. It's not connected to, you know, galvanize somebody into something that is serving you as an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
If it's just I'm posting this because I need attention. That's why I'm doing the low cut pants, or whatever.
Yep.
Even though I got a hoochie daddy shirt. Told on myself.
He lotions the legs up.
Because I wanted y'all to see, you know, I got work my legs here and there, you know. But tying it back to the red flags, green flags, I think what happens is, you know, you have a few of those experiences, men and women, where maybe they weren't as transparent as they thought they should have been, which is, there is a level of subjectivity to that. Which is like, I wasn't comfortable enough to share X, Y, and Z with you yet.
That part right there.
Right? Because it's a two-way street.
Yes.
Then they mislabel it as, you know, all women are manipulative or all men are manipulative.
Correct.
So then now you have this warped mindset of when I come into this date, I already know I can't trust this man because my last 3 experiences.
Exactly.
Out of 4 billion men on this world, probably more than that, you decided that every man on earth is automatically trying to trick you, manipulate you and stuff, or vice versa.
Because of 2, 3, 4 bad experiences.
Exactly. So now you come into this and then you automatically think everything is, you know, jaded, even if that person is showing you behaviorally that you can trust them because they are open enough. You know?
And you're not realizing, because you have that mentality, that jaded mentality, your actions are going to align with that. So sometimes you hear a man like, man, that chick was like kind of like guarded, or she was closed off, or her energy was ugly. Like you might not know it because you're a beautiful chick aesthetically, but the energy you're giving off is kind of like, oh, I don't like that, because you're repelling the beauty that's coming to you because you're jaded from some other stuff that has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with Q. It has everything to do with you. And like, if you're still upset about those things or those red flags you've experienced with other relationships, heal first. I don't care how long it takes, a month, a year, 2 years, whatever. Like, you need to feel like, okay, I can go into this next situation and with a blank slate and give them the chance that they deserve from a blank slate. Because oftentimes men are dating women, and vice versa. Women are dating men that you're already at a negative when you meet them, and you're like, but I haven't done anything bad to you, so why do you have this energy towards me? I have nothing to do with the thoughts you're having. You know?
That's real.
So, yeah.
I love that. I think a secret to sexy could be integrity.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say integrity is because we're basically asking people to step into a situation as the 10 out of 10 version of yourself.
Yes.
Not assuming that this person is a liar, a manipulator, or anything. You just show up as your best self, independent of what you think could potentially be happening in front of you. Because that's who you want to be. Not because you think necessarily that person deserves it, but it's you step in as a 10 because that's just who you are. And I think a lot of people are more like, well, if he shows me this, this, and this, or if she shows me this and this, then I'll step in as a 10 instead of just being the best version of yourself, regardless of whether or not they earned it or not, until they show you that they don't deserve that. Then you can
because if you're
repel and go back.
not being a good person or you're the best version of yourself, then you're almost just as bad as what you saying this other person is, because you're not being true and authentic to who you are. You're withholding because you're still tainted. You're still upset. You're still angry. You're still upset with whatever you've dealt with in the past. I was talking to a friend last night, and she was telling me about some therapy she experienced, and she was asking me like how, certain aspects of my life dictated how I think now. And I was like, I promise you I think different. I said, my past doesn't dictate anything. My now does. Like where I'm at now, what I'm dealing with now is so much more important than the past, because you cannot change the past. You can't change the guy that played you. You can't change the guy that left you, or the guy that hurt you, or the woman that cheated on you with your best friend. None of that can change. So if you're still dwelling on those things, then you got some work to do. If you can't say, hey, I'm going to go into this next situation and trust this person until they give me a reason not to, then you're not ready to date.
Right, exactly. I'd say this, for me personally, every relationship has taught me new standards and new sets of boundaries based on things that before then I hadn't experienced, so I didn't even know that needed to be a boundary, right?
Right.
So I think the difference between, being healed and responsible and showing up with integrity, showing up with class, is you have new boundaries, but you're not taking it out on them in a spiteful way.
Correct.
You're just communicating up front when you see something that could be a red flag. Hey, by the way, like, I don't really like when, if we're out and then you're just like not being present with me and you're on your phone the whole time. That kind of triggers me a little bit. Like, I'm gonna show you the same respect, but let's just be present with each other. And you handle it with good energy.
Yes.
You're basically showing up, learning, things from the past, but responding in the present in a way that's setting boundaries, but doing it with good energy, saying, hey, I want this relationship to go as far as it can, but this is how we're gonna get there.
Absolutely.
And if they can't handle that,
Then I don't know.
Like, check,
I don't know what to
please.
tell you. Check, please.
We are done. Dunaroo, check, please.
get up out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And we at the Cheesecake Factory, because I still like Cheesecake Factory. I still like
You
it.
go to Cheesecake Factory?
Sometimes. The menu is still
I
great.
mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do order cheesecake from there every once in a while. The original with the strawberry. That's my go-to.
Got to.
All right, Q. So let's normalize some of these green flags. I think part of the problem is sometimes green flags are mistaken as red flags. But what are some green flags that you're like, these are absolutely just good things that a woman or a man should want from their partner?
Absolutely. Green flags, very, very important. Green flags, they follow through.
Okay.
They communicate clearly. They also listen. So when you express something that you're uncomfortable with or whatever it is, whether it's something that's important to you, they hear you. They get it. They take mental note. Their actions are feeding off of what you've communicated to them. They have budgets. They have time restraints. These are also, they have boundaries. They hold you accountable.
Ooh, accountability?
Accountability.
But aren't men sassy if they
call it
hold you
sassy
accountable?
these
If
days.
you have any type of conflict, if we're sassy.
Right. Now all of a sudden we're sassy, right? Because people are learning that accountability and having boundaries is important.
Right.
And they're twisting it around and saying, oh, you're acting catty or sassy. It's like, no, that's saying I'm holding you to a standard because this is how I feel about myself. And no one underneath this can pass through this gate. I have standards, I have boundaries, and I think sometimes people are used to dealing with people with no standards and boundaries. Some people who are manipulative actually look for people with no standards or boundaries because it's the only people that can actually manipulate in the first place.
Easier to gaslight individuals like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people with boundaries and all those green flags you talked about, like that's a woman that's healed. That's a man that has, like you said, standards. Like that's sexy, and I think those are all good green flags to recognize for any partner.
I'll tell you a quick story. So I remember a few years ago, I was at a bar, saw this nice young lady, thought she was attractive, we kept making eye contact, so I went over to talk to her, offered her a drink. As I started talking to her, she seemed cool at first, but I quickly realized, I was like, she's kind of street. Like she's kind of rough around the edges. And I'm a big, person that enjoy like a woman with intellect that can speak clearly and great with communication. So as we started talking more and more, I had already put her in another category. Like, okay, this is not my type of woman, but she was very attractive. So I still was like, I'll get her a drink and stuff because we're chilling. So I offered to get her a drink, and I was like, well, what do you want to drink? And she says, oh, something of the caliber of like a 1942 or something, which we know is like top shelf, very expensive drink. Oh, maybe a 1942 or such and such. She named off these drinks that are really expensive. And I was like, no, we're not
Can't knock her hustle
that.
though. I mean, she went for the top tier.
She tried to let it roll off the tongue smooth.
Right.
I was like, no.
But really, she don't know it. Fortaleza is much better than 1942. But I digress.
But I didn't. So I'm like, no, let's get something basic. We're having a regular conversation.
Yeah.
Like I'm real about my budgets and time restraints and financial. I have financial goals.
And she was a stranger to you.
Yeah, and I don't know you.
You don't know you.
I don't know if I like you. In fact, I've already decided that I'm not going to take you seriously in that regard. We're just having a conversation, having a good time, being present in the moment. So then, as I mentioned, like, hey, let's choose something of a regular caliber. She says, oh, someone has budgets. Okay. And I was like, she kind of said it under her breath. So then.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm like.
Diabolical, as the kids say.
That was diabolical.
Yeah, so I was like, wait, budgets? Did you say that?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I do have a budget. We can say it out loud. I have a budget. I'm an adult.
Yep. It's called
so
adulting.
I have budgets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally said that.
That's
it's
hilarious.
called adulting.
Yeah.
I have a budget. You cool with that? She backpedals. No, it's cool. I was just, I just thought. I was like, no, that's called being an adult that has financial goals.
Yeah.
And so from there, I think once somebody gets understanding that, I'm an intellectual and I double down on being responsible, we were cool from that point on. But that just goes to show, like, sometimes people they're looking for people they can walk all over on. So there are true red flags. I just think sometimes when you've experienced those type of experience a lot, then when you finally do see a green flag, it's like, wait, hold on, this is making me uncomfortable. Is it a setup?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, sometimes God eventually gives you what you want, either to bless you and show you that you're ready, or sometimes to prove to you that you're not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people say, I wish I had him if he had this, and this, and I would show up like that. And he's like, no, you won't. I'll put him in. I'll give him to you right now and prove you're not ready for that. You know?
And it shouldn't take a man or a woman being X for you to show up as Y.
Right.
Like, you should already be the level that you need to be at. It shouldn't take someone else dictating that for you. You know, does that make sense? You know
I
what
agree.
I mean? Like I'm not gonna be a gentleman and open car doors and get her flowers and take her out to dinner and all the expectations that women have. I'm not gonna do those things if she's this.
Right.
I'm doing that because that's the standard I have for myself.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
That's real.
I'm not gonna make you walk. I'm gonna make sure you walk on the inside of the sidewalk because that's how my mom raised me to treat women.
Yeah.
So I treat women that way.
Right.
All of them. Doesn't matter where you are. So that's another misconception. It's like, well, I'm gonna do this if he does that.
Right.
Since
that
when?
sounds transactional. That sounds
Very transactional.
manipulative. It's not genuine. And what happens is if they do enter a relationship, eventually that wears off.
Yes.
And they're like, I can't do this pretending job anymore because I was just doing that because you were doing this.
Correct.
And the truth is, relationships change a lot. So I feel like when you find somebody who's truly a gentleman or truly a classy lady, that's just who they are. They embody that. It's not because you're so special. It's because it's because it's the standard they hold themselves to.
Yeah.
That's a real partner that you want to go with.
I agree.
I want to see you, even in my moments where I don't show up as my best self, I want to see you maintain that frame. You ain't got to hold it forever because everybody has breaking lines where it's like, I can't hold this because you're not giving me what I need. But let me see you still hold that frame. And if you can still hold that frame, that lets me know that's who you really are.
Yeah, it's integrity. You want someone that's who they say they are. That's all you can ask. Like, just show up as and no one's perfect. No one can be perfect all the time or show up all the time. But like, at least the effort, like you're trying to, despite what I may or may not be going through, or what you may or may not be going through mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. As long as you're trying to show up as the version you showed up as when I was doing everything for you.
Right.
Like, who are you after that stops?
Right. Yeah.
You know? So I personally think the truth is a lot of people aren't ready to be loved. They just want to be chased.
Right.
Because when you're chased, you attach and associate value to that, right? You're like, oh, so everyone's chasing me, everybody wants me, everybody's in my DMs, but I don't see real value in that. Like, anybody that's pretty aesthetically, men and women, they're gonna get chased. We just live in a society where that's happens. But here's the cycle. You say you want peace, you find peace, you label peace boring, then you go back to the chaos.
Yep.
And then 3 years later, 4 years later, you're back on the apps, Hinge, Tinder, if you're into that kind of thing, I guess. and you're like, bro, where are all the good ones? It's like, bro, you ghosted them.
Right.
All of them.
All of them.
So that's where we are, you know?
That's real.
That's my take.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's talk solutions. I feel like, if peace feels uncomfortable to you, that should be an indicator that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And also it's an indicator that you may need to just lean into that for a change. If it feels comfortable, lean into it. That doesn't mean, give them access to your bank account or anything like that.
Sure.
But it's like, let's lean into this because if it feels good, you have no reason to create a red flag for that.
Yeah.
Lean into it. I would say start slow. Don't trauma dump and, just start pouring all the negative stuff in because I think it's very important to disseminate truth in a timely fashion as you build rapport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just, like I said, take it slow and allow things to manifest slowly through each experience.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, have you ever had a friend or a coworker or anybody that, they tell you they're dating escapades, right?
Yeah.
And then you keep seeing them make the wrong choices or maybe they run across some of the right choices, but then they discard them because they're not looking for the right things.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? Because I know I have.
Have I experienced that? I mean, I wrote a book called This Is Why You're Single.
Hey,
You know,
plug.
yes. Plug.
Plug it in.
Yes, I could give countless stories, but one that comes to mind is my homegirl, and very like drop dead gorgeous, very beautiful girl, very driven, has a great career, doesn't really need anything from a man aside from like love and just connection.
Yeah.
But the love and connection she was looking for was in the bad boys. She literally was like, he's just boring. He's not bad enough. He doesn't do this, and it's like, but where have any of those situations gotten you?
Right.
You're still single. And now this good guy that's over here in limbo is like, he's boring to you.
Right.
And maybe you should just try something different. And she disagreed with me and went back to one of the guys. And then 2 weeks later, I got the call and she was crying, and I was just kind of like, I told you this. Didn't say that. Console her as a good friend would do. And I was like, I think it's time for you to step outside your comfort zone and try something different.
Right.
She went back to the other guy that I said she should have went back to. She should have tried with initially, and they're married now. And they've been married for over a year. And I love him, and he's great for her, and she's the happiest I've ever seen her. Again, boring is not bad. It's like, it's healthy. I don't understand like this adrenaline rush that people are chasing like that. It's quick, it's fleeting. Like when you drink alcohol or you do drugs, which I'm not an advocate for, so don't do them. But if you do, like, that moment is literally just a moment. It's fleeting. You feel it, and you feel great for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour maybe, and then you crash.
Right.
Going after people that don't have substance or excite you, and like, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
We talk about sustainability every episode. It's not sustainable. So like, find that balance. I'm not saying you want to freaking date a librarian, but like, find some, like, if he treats you well or she treats you well and he listens to you and she listens to you and they hit all your points and it's just not like a crazy spark, maybe the spark comes later.
Right.
When you actually date the person and get to know them. People are so overzealous. It's like, I want the spark immediately. And it's like, but you don't even know this person.
Right.
They don't know you. They don't know what makes you laugh. They don't know what type of movies you like. They don't know what type of ice cream you like. They don't know what you want to do before bed. They don't know the types of books you like to read. They don't know your favorite kind of, like, the spark comes once they learn all the things about you.
Right.
And then there's synergy, and you find the commonality, and you find the things that make sense. You're like, oh, I like this person.
Right.
They want to have that moment where they're like, oh, I like this person right away.
Right.
That's just not a realistic expectation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look for that spark that we're talking about in forms of entertainment.
Yeah.
For men, it could be sex, like, oh my gosh, she's just killing the game. For women, it can be that, and it can be just the bad boy who don't really care. He just has a bravado about him, which, to an extent, we know that's sexy. Sure. When a guy is like extra confident and they're not really worried about what others think, that is a component of sexy. But if you're not looking into the inner workings of his character, like, does he show up for you? Is he honest? Is he transparent? Is he a good communicator? Then what you're looking for is a quick fling, and not a sustainable thing. So I think sometimes they're just looking for the wrong things because it's entertaining in the moment, versus someone who might not be as flashy. Maybe he is a little softer or whatever you want to call it. But to your point,
or sassy, as they like to call us.
A little sassy, but it's like they can grow into being more exciting as they learn what you like and what's exciting to you. If they really care about you. Human beings do mold to their partner a little bit. They're not going to compromise their principles.
If you're worth it,
Yeah, they're not going to compromise their principles, but they can definitely fix those nuances that, may make you a little more aroused at the situation. So I think sometimes we focus too much on excitement instead of realizing, like, the character traits that create a sustainable situation might not be the same as the entertainment traits that you're looking for. All right, guys, here's your sexy homework. I want you guys to list 3 green flags that you used to ignore. Then I want you to write down why you thought those green flags were boring. And then I want you to be honest with yourself and really reflect. Were those things boring, or were you just not used to being loved the right way?
Yeah, we're all out here saying we want peace, right? But peace requires patience. And you can't keep praying for healthy love and entertaining the things that actually hurt you, right? So, peace isn't passive. Peace is patience with no panic, essentially. And that should ultimately be the goal.
Right. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Peace isn't passive.
Louder.
Say it with your chest.
I'm like, which part you want me to say? No, ultimately, guys, just, take your piece seriously and everything else will kind of fall into place.
That's real. The good guy isn't boring. Nope. The good girl isn't too nice. It's love in its purest form.
If they are, it's fine.
Yeah.
If they're boring, there's nothing wrong with boring. I don't think so.
Find an entertaining friend. Supplement it.
Exactly.
Find the crazy person that's their friend. But
Yep.
sometimes your partner's primary responsibility is to bring you peace.
Yep.
Everything else is negotiable. Just saying.
Yeah. Before we continue, this episode is brought to you by mentalhealthcards.com. Trust me, these aren't your average affirmations. These are conversation starters, whether it be for you, your family, friends, spouse, kids, because sometimes the hardest part of healing is knowing how to talk about it.
That's real. And the thing is, these cards are actually a gentle, non-invasive way to actually open up without feeling like you're in a therapy session.
Exactly.
They're sexy, they're smart, they work.
All right, guys, this is Secrets to Sexy, where healing is hot, drama is out, and green flags are finally getting the love that they deserve. Peace.
Peace.